What's up? Check your heart. How's everyone doing? Decided to do another late night live Saturday night. Just got back from filming a video. Figured why not? Let's go live. We had a really long live last night. I'm gonna try not to go that long. That was like a 5-hour stream. It was really fun. We talked about a lot of stuff, but gonna try to cut it at least a little bit shorter than that, so the daylight doesn't break before I go to bed. I just had a couple pieces of tofu with some corn salsa on it. Yep, another late night. So most of you probably saw, if you haven't already, I posted a video earlier today, well, technically yesterday, going grocery shopping at Wegmans. So that video it's doing pretty well. It's getting mixed comments on there. So I thought I would go live tonight and talk about that a little bit. We also went to another store tonight, and kind of the same kind of thing happened. So I filmed another one, and I don't normally post a video, or at least I haven't lately, on a Saturday. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out the days. But I decided to throw it up there in light of everything that's going on. So I might be posting more videos more frequently, other than my Monday and Thursday normal videos that I do. So I hope you guys don't mind. Good morning, Sandra, all the way. What time is this? Probably morning has broke for you over there in you're in Sweden or Netherlands? I always get that mixed up. So Fran, what'd you think of the Wegmans video? Yeah, Wegmans did. So Wegmans is a grocery chain. Actually, they're ranked the number one grocery chain here in our country, and it's just surreal to go in there and see them be out of so many things. So they decided to close their stores at midnight, and going forward, it's so all week. I guess they're closing. I don't know when they're gonna go back to normal hours, but now this is a store that's open 24/7 every day of the year, minus 2 holidays. And to see them closed, it's just really weird, because we were just driving home, and I was thinking, I'm like, oh, let's go stop at Wegmans real quick. I'm like, oh wait, we can't. Like the only time that's ever happened is during Christmas, or one other holiday. I can't remember if it's Easter or Thanksgiving or New Year's Day. I don't remember. But there's two holidays where they don't open. And so like any time there's Wegmans all over the place. I have 3 of them near where I live, any direction I go. And there's many more around the area, but just like where I live, there's about 3 of them. So I can go there anytime I want, 24/7. And knowing that they close at midnight now, and even last night they said they were closing at midnight, but they closed more like 11:30. They kicked us out, so it's pretty crazy what's going on there. So I just want to talk about that, because I did have some mixed reviews on the video, which I want to address here. Yeah, and I think the reason why that they are closing earlier now, and then reopening in the morning, is so they can give their employees time to restock everything, because everything is out. As I said, we went to Walmart tonight to get one thing, and we ended up doing another video there because they were out of everything. Now Walmart still is 24/7, at least the one I went to, and just to see the shelves just empty, bare empty, everything. People wiped out just about everything that they could. So I wasn't planning on doing a video, but I did. So I'll probably edit that and post that pretty soon too, just to update everybody on what's going on, because I think it's going to happen pretty quick. So there wasn't very many people there when I went. So, but I think that these stores, especially Wegmans and I'm assuming Walmart too, in the peak hours of the day, have a ton. What are you doing? Why do you do this every time I go live? You got to stop. Yes. What was I even saying? Yeah, they're closing everything. So they just declared state of emergency here in the county that I live in, meaning all schools will be closed going forward until April 14th, and who knows if they'll still be open then or open back up then or not, depending on how things go. But yeah, I want to address a couple of things. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but there were a few people that said that my video was like alarmist and fear mongering, and I need to chill out and everything. I want people to know I'm very, very chill about the situation. I'm not the kind of person that gets stressed out or worried or panicky or anything like that. I take things as they come, because I know that panicking and worrying is not going to change a situation, at least not for the better. So I try to just take things as they come, no matter what they are, even a situation like this. I'm not one of those people that went out and loaded up on a bunch of items and bought the store out. I try to always have things ready. I've been talking about that for years, Make sure you always have like at least a half a tank of gas or more, in case you have to. Don't come home empty is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I'm not worried. I might not have all the foods I would like, but I definitely have food in my pantry that I could live off of for a while. Especially with all these companies that send me things. So I've got snacks down there, snacks galore. I've got snacks that I like, snacks that I don't like, but I'm not worried, and I could even invite other people over and still have enough food for people. So yeah, so I'm not really worried about that. But, a lot of people were, bashing in the comments about other people buying stuff, and I will say that I understand. So first of all, let me just explain the whole toilet paper thing, because I think some people are just buying it without even knowing why they're buying it, and everybody's like, well, what's going on? Do people have to go to the bathroom more or what? Like, I think, well, the reason why people are buying stuff like toilet paper is because the future it's changing. It's changing with what's happening, and it's unknown. People do not know what's going to happen, so people would rather be safe than sorry, meaning if we are quarantined, if we are mandated to stay indoors, and we can't go to stores. I mean, already we're seeing stores closed, we're seeing stores being sold out. If we can't get certain products because they're too high in demand and no longer able to get them that easily, then we want to know that we have a certain supply for an unforeseen future. We don't know how long it's going to be. And some people were criticizing people buying more than a normal amount of stuff. I mean, I understand, don't go in and buy pallets and pallets and pallets, but you do want to have enough food. The CDC released a statement today saying that people should have 8 weeks of food at hand. That's 60 days. So I heard people mocking people for saying that, but these people they're right. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But with that being said, don't panic. There's some people that commented on the video that they weren't able to get to the store right now, or they didn't have the paycheck to get to the store right now until later in the week, or stuff like that. Again, don't panic, because the stores are still replenishing. And even if you're not going to get the things that you want, there's other things that are still there. So the stores aren't completely empty. There is food that you can buy. It just might not be the things that you want, the things that you're used to, but you will have food to survive. So that's the situation that we're in. There's the supply and demand and population control and not control, but population. Everybody that lives here going out at once doing this. So that's why I said in the video a few times, I foresaw this. I knew this was coming. I called it over a month ago, and I told my friends and family, I said, even if the virus is nothing, even if it's just, a mild flu, it doesn't matter, because once there's cases in those counties, other people are going to panic. Other people are going to rush and try to prep people that have not prepared or stocked up or have, enough food at home or supplies at home or anything like that, that just go out to stores and buy things, day to day, week to week. And everybody's going to go at the same time, and they're going to, clear off aisles. So I knew this was coming, and a lot of people laughed at me and didn't want to believe me, but here we are. I was right. And during these last few weeks, I just made sure to, buy a little bit extra, things each time I want more pasta, more canned goods, different things like that. Make sure I had enough dog food for the puppies and all that. I didn't go out and stock up on toilet paper or anything like that. When Josh moved in here, he ordered a box online before this whole situation arose. So it wasn't in response to this. He just ordered a box. So I think we should probably be good with that. We don't have an overwhelming amount, but I think we're good. So yeah, I'll have another video to post pretty soon. I gotta say, I really like these. This Made in Nature sent me these. These are the new Fudge. It's like a healthy fudge. It's made out of organic cacao. There's no sugar in it. Sweetened with fruit. 100% plant-based. And I really like them. There's another flavor that I like even better, but I don't know where I put it. So I'm going to have one while we're hanging out here. Hello, Linda. That's what it looks like. Rebecca, yeah, I told my parents the same thing. I'm like, if you guys need anything, I will get it for you and bring it to you. Don't go out anywhere. I mean, my mom has a compromised immune system. My dad's old. I mean, he had surgery earlier last year. I don't want them to pick this up. And my mom seems to get sick all the time, so, something that Wait, I don't understand, Gomez. Gomez says there's always old t-shirts, etc., and a washing machine. If Chris read this, he threw up. Lots of people use cloth. I mean, do we have showers, stuff like that? See, we don't know what's ahead. We don't know how it's going to affect, people working the jobs that we take for granted all the time. Water treatment, garbage pickup, things that we just know are there, that have always been there since we've been born. So, if it gets really bad, which I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, but I think it's better to be prepared than not to be. There's a lot of haters basically blowing this off and saying people are crazy for doing anything at all, and it's just I'd rather be safe than sorry, and I think you'll see. Cloth diapers way back in the day. I remember the Diaper Mobile would drive around and deliver cloth diapers and pick up dirty ones. How is the stream? I keep seeing it like refreshing over here. I have no idea why it's doing that. I paid my bill. Oh, that's the other thing, the internet. Hopefully the internet stays up. If the internet goes down, we're all back to where we were, at least when I was younger. Close-knit communities without the connection to the outside world, pretty much. I remember, when I say that, I remember specifically when I was younger, before cell phones, before internet, but also there was a bad thunderstorm, and it took out all of our power, electric, for a while. And I remember going outside, and all the neighbors just met in the street, after it stopped raining. And we all just talked about, like, whatever we talked about, because, there was no way to text anybody back then or call anybody or anything like that. So we all just went out there and talked. Whenever I talk about, the close-knit community, I think of that moment when I was younger. Stream really good tonight? Oh, it kept saying all circuits are busy. That happened to me one other time when I tried to use my phone, and that was during September 11th attack, and none of the phones worked. So I couldn't contact anybody. A lot of people couldn't. Yeah, my pantry and refrigerator is no more stocked than it normally would be. We grabbed a couple things tonight, but nothing out of the ordinary. Basically just went in there to do a video and grabbed a few things. Didn't really stop. The only thing I grabbed a bunch of were bananas, because they have bananas. Other than that, just did a video. Just filmed a video for you guys. I feel like, people want to know what's going on, and I'm an unbiased kind of like a news, so we're still talking about diapers over here. I don't know, what's everyone doing tonight on Saturday night? I don't know anything that's going on. Josh was tired, he went to sleep. Rachel went to sleep. The dogs are just sitting here with me. I'm just hanging out with you guys. I'm not tired. The eerie feeling in the air is reminding me of 9/11. I don't really feel any eerie feeling yet. I'm just doing my thing. Business as usual, working each day. Filming videos, editing videos, doing these live streams with you guys. But yeah, I know it's coming. It's coming. Especially that the after what the CDC issued today, and after your video with the broccoli heads and fresh veg still not sold out, I thought maybe buying lots of fresh and dehydrating stuff or freezing. You could do that. Cook them up, jar them up, can them. Listening while making a little hobby video game. Oh, that's cool. You're making a video game. Watching Friends. When we were in New York, we passed Ross. He's in my video, but you can't really tell. Yep, Mr. Schwimmer. It feels super isolating. So how does it feel any different than like a normal day for you? Ryan just joined the chat. What were you saying about the internet going down? Oh no, my stream was refreshing. I wasn't sure if it was blotchy or whatever. But I was talking about back in the day when I was younger, close-knit communities before the internet, how people would communicate and stuff. And I remembered a certain incident when all of our power went off due to a storm and stuff, and how we all just met outside in the street, all the neighbors, and we just were like talking about what was going on and stuff like that. Bagger vans. Oh, you lost your job. I'm sorry to hear that. They're closing a lot of things. Like the schools are closing here, the county I live in. The schools are all closed now, and I think the governor made a statewide closure of SUNY schools, state of New York schools. Colleges and stuff are going to be held online, and all other schools are closed now until April 14th. I don't know what April 14th, what's special about April 14th. We might still be in the thick of it, so who knows? I think a lot of people bought toilet paper because other people were buying toilet paper, not knowing why they were buying toilet paper. People are buying stuff as if a major hurricane, and that's exactly what you want to prepare for. I mean, this is going to be like any natural emergency, natural disaster, anything like that. And that's what you would want to do. You'd want to have enough provisions if you have to stay inside. Like I said, the CDC just issued a statement today. I'd have to find it. Rachel read it to me when we were driving to the store, basically saying that everybody should have, they're suggesting everybody have at least 8 weeks worth of supplies, food, and other supplies that you need. So that's why people are doing this. I mean, I think, even though people are mad that people are doing this, but I think we're going to think differently of them and people like that in the near future. We're going to say, I know why they did that. I know why people are doing this. But everybody, whether you get a huge supply or not, you should have at least what they're saying, 8 weeks worth, because we don't know what's going to happen with quarantine and staying indoors to try to beat this and stuff like that. So and the whole reason behind that is if you don't need to leave the house to risk exposure or exposing to anybody else, then you can wait it out and everything should be fine. So Big Josh is sleeping, but you're still in the chat. Just join in, Rachel Dick and Cheats. Hey, how's it going? Your church stopped services too. Yeah, my mom said that too. My mom goes to church and she was supposed to do a reading. I'm like, don't go. And she's like, no, I got to do it. I'm like, and then she texted me and said, oh, they canceled it. And I'm like, yes. Live streams on Facebook. You saw people actually cleaning the machines at the gym before and after. See, I always do that no matter what, whether there's an incident like this or not. You're a cook and you're taking the best precautions. but you're still worried you can't lose shifts. Yeah, I mean, some people, are going to be out of work just because things are going to close down for a while. But I think what they're trying to do is trying to give, financial relief for situations like that because of what's going on. What was it, like $50 billion were set aside? Yeah, a lot of things are canceled, and we're going to see a lot more things being canceled. So, um, and you got to remember that the people that are working in these places that we rely on, the stores that we're going to buy all of our food and supplies that we need. Um, but the big thing is don't try not to panic. Don't panic. Um, and try not to worry. Everything will be fine. Just I don't think anybody's going to starve from not having food. I think we're still going to be able to get food. Just be prepared and try to think, be smart, and don't go places you don't need to go. Like for me tonight, we went to the store, but we went really late when nobody was there, and literally there was not many people there. So you go in the day, it's chaotic. There's tons of people there. Um, Whether they have it or not, people are going to be sick and coughing and getting germs everywhere. It's just, I don't know. And it's so much busier now in light of what's going on than a normal day at the store. So, and there's all kinds of, like I'm seeing on the news, there's like fights breaking out in like parking lots, and it's chaos. So, yeah, I agree. Yeah, just try not to panic. Panic isn't going to do anything. Panic's going to only make things worse. So try to have a clear head, think it through. What would MacGyver do? And then just do that. You might not use duct tape or anything, or you might. I don't know. See, it's a Saturday night, and we're all hanging out here. I know for some of you it's a Sunday morning, but for me it's a Saturday night. And instead of going out and shaking everybody's hand and bumping into people, we're hanging out here on the computer or wherever you guys are on your computer or smartphone or whatever, TV. Yeah, a lady saw Josh tonight, and when she went near him, she put on her mask. Ooh, a tendon surgery. It's crazy how not crazy it is here. People aren't worried at all. Well, it's good that people aren't worried, but it's not good if people are just thinking that this is going to be nothing, because I think we have, I think that it's going to get worse. People don't realize what we're in for. Vegan meal suggestions when you're on crutches. Well, probably not something like soup or anything. I would go for the good old fashioned PBJ sandwich. Um, you don't want to spill anything when you're on crutches, so you want something that is pretty solid. So I'd say soups and stuff like that are out of the question. Um, Probably like a sandwiches, or maybe a burrito. I don't know. I mean, I could go through a lot of foods, but you'd probably want something that's not going to get all over the place so you don't spill it. So we are working a little bit of the zombie hours, but we're not going to go into the wee hours of 6, 7 a.m. like we did yesterday. I don't know. Yeah, for me, like every once in a while, I like me a nice peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I got some of that nice, either the flax bread, the French peasant, the Heidelberg bread. It's really good. No preservatives or anything bad in it. Either that or I'll make my own sourdough bread. You touch people for a living and they just keep coming in right off the plane. Oh, wow. What do you do, sir? Oh, your neighbor goes to Starbucks every day. See, something like that, just if you need coffee, make it at home. You're going to save yourself. I mean, nobody wants to change their normal routines, but, this potentially could be life or death. So we want to be smart about it. Do I think it'll be that bad? Well, again, I don't want people to worry or have any fear or anything, but yeah, I think I have a little bit of inside information, and I think it's going to be worse than people think. And I don't think people know what's. There's a bunch of reasons for it too. I mean, first of all, it's very contagious. They're treating it like it's airborne, even though it's not. It's not airborne, but since it's so contagious, that's how they're treating it. Anybody can get it. You are right. Most kids seem to be fine. Most younger people my age or younger seem to be fine, but not all. And the symptoms could be very mild, and you could be fine. But you could also be a carrier to transmit it to other people, which would be my biggest fear. I'm not really worried about anything except for I wouldn't want to, transmit it to like my parents or somebody like that. So, but there are some other concerns too, because it can be severe, and if you don't get the treatment, or even if you do get the treatment, it could still leave scar tissue on your lungs, and that can affect the rest of your life. Your stamina, your breathing, your life expectancy, a lot of things. So you don't want to get this. A lot of people were like, "Oh, it's just a flu. It's not that bad. I'm young. I got a good immune system. I don't care if I get it or not." And honestly, I kind of thought the same way for a little while until recently. And now I do not want to get it because I don't want any of those problems ever. So the other thing is yeah, it's, even if you did get it, you got a severe, bout of it. Normally, you just go to the hospital, you'll be fine. However, it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up everywhere. And there's only, 70, 80,000 beds in the hospitals here in the United States to take care of this kind of thing for severe cases. There's going to be more people. So that means, think about it this way. Normally, you're really sick. You go to the hospital, and they take special attention to you, and they help you out, and they get you better. But now you're just a number because there's so many people with the same thing that they're not putting their full attention on you, and you might even not even get the care, or you might be in a line because everybody else is already there. And another thing, you think about that, well, there's 70, 80,000, hospital rooms that are equipped to take care of this, but those 70, 80,000 rooms are not all in one place. They're not all near you. So if you're in one part of the country, yeah, they're spread throughout the rest of the country. Who knows how many are in your area? So that's why I'm saying, like, again, don't worry, don't panic, be smart, try not to get it, try not to spread it. I like to have a strong immune system. I juice fresh turmeric root, fresh ginger. You can take supplements, vitamins. C, they say vitamin A is good for this. What was the other one I saw today? A doctor was talking about PQQ. I don't know much about that, but that's what he was recommended. So there's things to up your immune system, and try to do everything you can to not get this. So, but yeah, you're right, Straders. Not everybody will need a hospital, but there's a lot of people, and it's the numbers are going to just this is what's happened. It started, if you look at how a pandemic spreads like this, it's happening just as they suspected, just as they predicted. It starts with one little dot here, where it did in Wuhan, China, and then it starts spreading. You get a couple cases over here in different parts of the world, and then it blows up over there, and it's blowing up everywhere in all these other countries. It's getting worse and worse, and it's spreading. It's spreading. It doubles, it triples, it quadruples, very, very, very fast. So if there's the incubation period is also pretty long, so you might not even know you have it, which means you're infecting other people and you have no idea. So it's almost impossible to find out where it originated or who got who sick or whatever. So by the time there's a confirmed case, like I think there's 2 confirmed cases an hour from where I live right now. But there's like 8 to 12 people in quarantine, not confirmed cases, but in quarantine in my county. The last I heard, but you got a confirmed case, which means that confirmed case right there, it's almost, what is the word I'm looking for? The other people around that person have had it. It's almost inevitable that other people were infected that don't know that they have it, and then they infect other people, and then it just boom, boom, and just blows up. And that's exactly what a pandemic is, and a pandemic is a worldwide epidemic. So, yeah, so that's why it's so bad, because it's worldwide. Can you freeze Gingerroot? I always like to say you can freeze anything, except for Walt Disney. I don't know if, but yeah, yeah, go ahead, freeze it. The elite really want to kill the. Well, that's. I mean, I could talk about that too, but that's another conversation here. I used to have a whole bottle of ashwagandha. I gave it, and I got maca powder too. So. Oh wow, yeah, a scarred lung is no fun. You had one. You have one from a lung surgery. Wow. Yeah, Netflix and YouTube. That's what a lot of people. So I mean, that's partly why I'm doing this right now, just to, talk about, there's a lot of people that are panicking, worrying, and I just think there's no reason really to do that. If you're smart, if everybody was smart and did the right thing, then we'd wipe it out really fast. But some people just think that, oh, this is nothing. It's just the flu. It's not. It's not just the flu, for one. Turmeric, you think chop it up first? Personally, I would probably just keep it in the root form, but yeah, I don't know, because when you freeze it, it's going to expand a little bit, because it's watery in the middle. I always have a camera battery, right? But it's inevitable that it's going to die in about 2 hours. But I always have batteries ready to go. So I have 3 batteries that are charged, and the batteries in this camera last pretty long. The downside is I'm not going to have this camera after a couple days, because on Monday I got to drop it off. Am I a vampire? Why do you stay up at night and sleep during the day? Isn't that weird? Yeah, when it gets light out, I get in my coffin. Wow, that's crazy. And it went to your lung. Yeah, my sister had a problem with her lung. She had a blood clot in her lung years and years ago. Does Josh and Rachel live with you? Yes, they both live here. Yeah, so This is a story. I guess I'll tell it. So I had something really weird happen to me when I was like 20, 21. I was living in Florida, and the more I think about it, I think I was poisoned, but I don't know. So, anyways, here's what happened. The throughout the day. So I went with my friend. Now this is the first time. I always thought back then it was because I went to the gym. So we decided it was like my first time going to the gym, and my buddy, worked out a lot, so I went with him. Now, living in Florida and stuff, there was a few people that he went to school with that didn't like him. He was kind of a wise ass, and we went to Taco Bell, and we got some burritos before we went to the gym. And I remember we had a little power gel. I had a power gel. So for a while there, I thought maybe that was it. I thought maybe it was just because I worked out really hard and I hadn't worked out before really hard. Anyway, ate the burrito, went to the gym. And then later that night, or the very next day, I was like so sore, like it was bad. My arms were all swollen up. My shoulders were swollen up. My stomach was all swollen up. And it looked like I was fat. And the day before, like I had like a completely like perfect 6-pack, no fat. And it all like was pushed off. And if I touched it, it like hurt. It was like red and puffed out. And I couldn't I remember I was trying to take a shower. I couldn't even like move my arms to do it. So I just thought like it was, just a hard workout. Is this what really happens? But now this is a part, maybe too much information, but my urine was like dark brown. Like I had no idea what that was. It turns out that was like kidney issues or like blood or whatever. So I ended up going to the emergency room, and I talked to the doctor, and I'm like, look, I didn't really have any money. I go, if it's going to be too much money, I'm not going to stay. I don't. And they're like, no, we gotta take a look at you, and did some blood tests and everything. And then I left. He didn't really diagnose me with anything. He just said, like, I trust that you care about your health, so I'm going to release you, but if it gets worse, you need to come back here. I'm like, okay. So I went home. I ended up getting better, but my strength went away. So I was coming home after the swelling stopped, and I was with my friend Jeremy. He's been in a lot of the guy with the kidney transplant. And we walked over to the store to buy some groceries, and then we walked back to the house we were living in, and there was like, instead of going around, there was like a little fence. It wasn't like a fence, it was like a wall. It was a brick wall, but it wasn't that high. It was probably up to here on me. And when you would just like jump over it. So I gave him the bags, and I went to jump over it, and my arms totally collapsed. I'm like, I had no strength in my arms. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So I tried to do like a push-up. I couldn't do one push-up. Like, I can do push-ups, and I couldn't do a push-up. I'm like, I had no strength whatsoever. My strength had all gone away, and I was like scared. So shortly after that, I just tried to like do push-ups after that, to get my strength back. And I could only do like 1 or 2 at a time. And then every day I would do them until I could do like 10 in a row. And then I could do 20 in a row. And I made my way all the way up to like 120 in a row. And I just kept doing push-ups every day for years and years. I'm like, I thought in my mind, if I stopped doing this, then I would lose my strength again. And I didn't know if something was wrong with me. I didn't know what it was. But now that I think back about it, I'm wondering if somebody poisoned or put some kind of like cleaning detergent or something in my burrito, thinking it was going to give to this my friend that they didn't like that worked there, and I was the one that ate it. Like, I don't know, but I feel like I was poisoned. Does anybody know what that could be? We have other conversations going on. I don't know if anybody. Hep A. Well, I've been tested for all that. I didn't have that. I don't know what it was. To this day, I have no idea. I just feel like I got poisoned. Yeah, but that was like, wow, that was like almost 25 years ago. So I don't remember it tasting funny, but That's another reason though why I don't like going places where other people make my food, where I can't see it being made. No matter where I go, I don't. I prefer to make my own food. No, I don't think. I'm not, Linda. I'm not saying it was food poisoning. I think somebody put some like cleaning detergent in my, and I wouldn't put it past it. I saw some bad things when I lived in Florida. Like, I mean, people were mean. The people that I came in contact. I mean, these were not good people. And that's I can't talk about a lot of that stuff. We don't want to talk about that in the stream, but so that's why I'm like it wouldn't surprise me if that's what happened, but I'll definitely never find out what happened. It just seems like that's what happened. Why would that happen? I don't think it was like a gel that I had, or I don't think it was a workout. It was bad. Plant power. Are you talking? Are you talking to me? Yeah, I did. I went to the emergency room. They had no idea what was wrong with me. People will try everything to kill a zombie. Hep? Well, I know I don't have hep. My doctor tested me for that a couple years ago, and I don't have it. When I went and got my blood tested, yeah. My and the reason why he tested me for that was because my bilirubin was it double what it was supposed to be? I think it was either double or half. I forget. But my overall liver was good, so he wasn't worried, and he diagnosed me with Gilbert's syndrome, which is completely benign. No symptoms, nothing to be treated for, nothing to cure. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's nothing. But because of those levels were twice what they normally are, he wanted to make sure that I didn't have hep. So I got tested for that, and it was negative. So, but I do remember when I was a kid, I was like 12 or 13, and we ate at a place. I think it was either Perkins or Ponderosa, if you guys remember those. And it turned out the person that was serving the drinks and stuff was tested for hepatitis. It was all over the news, and everybody that ate there that day had to go get hepatitis shots, and I had to get a shot, and I hated it. And when I got it, like, my arm hurt for like a week straight, like more so than I think it should have. But I thought that was normal. I was just a little kid, and I thought I was being a baby, and everybody else seemed fine. And I'm like, my arm, I can't move my arm. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, that was bad. So maybe a person that had mononucleosis spit in my food. I don't know. Well, no, I don't. I mean, I got tested at the ICU, Sarasota, Florida, and they couldn't find anything wrong with me. So 2 a.m. Oh man, that means it's 4 a.m. here. Man, the time is going. I did. See, here's the problem. Like, I around 10 or 11, and I fell asleep for like 20 minutes. It was like a power nap, and now I'm like recharged for the rest of the night. Was I a vegetarian at the time? There's so many conversations going on here. I don't know if you guys are asking me or somebody else in the conversation, but if you're asking if I was a vegetarian at the time, no, I was vegan. I went vegan when I was 18, and when I lived in Florida, I moved to Florida when I was 19. So I was a newbie vegan back then. Yeah. But nonetheless vegan. Has the stream been good? Because it keeps refreshing for me. It's almost like it's the stream health says it's good, but I don't know. Okay. Nicole says that's why I only eat at like 2 restaurants. Yeah, me same here. Like I'm just I like to eat out when I go travel to different places, but other than that, I prefer just to eat here at home. Um, yeah, I lived in Sarasota. I lived in St. Petersburg. I lived in Gainesville. Different time. So the first time I moved down there, I lived in Sarasota and then St. Petersburg near the end of that, and then I moved back home, and then I ended up going back to Gainesville for school at University of Florida. Did I like it there? Wait, where is there? Um, you know, I have some good memories and some bad memories from Sarasota. All in all, like I liked it, but it was wow. That I mean, I grew up fast because you had to. I saw some bad things there. Some bad things happened, but all in all, like I mean, it was crazy. It turned me into uh, a recluse when I came home, and I don't know. I guess I liked some of it and some of it I didn't. I didn't like St. Petersburg because I lived in a very very bad area, just trashy area, with some friends, and like I didn't have like I stayed with my friends. I didn't like have my own room. I didn't. I just we were just staying in this like apartment that was just really junky. Is that a word? That I don't know. It just I didn't like St. Petersburg, and I don't really remember too much about St. Petersburg other than it being dangerous where I was and things that were happening. And it's probably a great place, but from the places I was, it was not. And I worked at a place called Pinellas Rent-A-Car. I don't know if that still exists. Many many years ago. Sarasota was a lot nicer from where I lived, and then Gainesville was wow. Gainesville was just basically I didn't do anything, and there was no vegan restaurants down there in Sarasota or Gainesville or any place that I went back when I lived there in 95, 96, 97. In Gainesville was, I mean, it was fine. All I did was go to school. And then when I wasn't at school, I was like playing EverQuest. So I didn't have like the typical college life. I didn't live in a dorm or anything. I just went to school to get good grades, and I'd come home, and I didn't really socialize. I would play the video game. I was pretty addicted to that. So, and I was only there for a year. And then I moved to New York City to finish my degree. I had to take a semester off because of 9/11, where I was going to go to school, which in my case was fortunate because if I went a semester before, a good portion of the class that from the school I went to was took an off-site class on a very high floor of the trade towers. So I guess it was in my cards to do it the way I did it. Yeah, completely. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, Nicole, it was I don't have any really good memories from St. Pete. Although I know that the nice areas of St. Pete looked really nice, but that's not where I was, and I didn't like. There was a lot of things. I don't remember. I don't think I had. No, maybe I did. I was gonna say I don't think I had my own car at the time. No, I didn't. I didn't. I sold it. So I was basically just living with my friends. Um, but yeah, this is a long time ago. I definitely remember Sarasota a lot better than I remember um, St. Petersburg. Wait, CC is to blame to be expect. Are you talking about me? Those are my initials, CC. Let's see. Babu says, I hate when people say they saw bad things, but they don't say what. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't say. You guys, no. I've told, I think, 2 people from our stream, and they said don't ever talk about that in a live stream. So I'm going to take their advice. Cliffhangers. A show in the early 80s about a vampire and a cowboy. Were they friends? I don't think I know that. I don't think I've heard of that. No, I did not post on Instagram about this. I decided just to do it. And it looks like we got over 60 people watching, so it looks like we did all right. I did a little bit of grocery shopping today. Not too much. I talked about that when we first started the live stream. I actually just got back from it right before I went live here. So it's a little bit different for me because I went late at night, which means there's not very many people where I went. And I did another. The bad things you saw were very much like which David Lynch film? You grew up in Oakland, California, in the ghetto, gunshots every night. I was mugged for the first time, 18 years old. Okay, so we kind of have a very similar story there. How was the store today relative to yesterday? Not very different. I went to a different store. Just to reiterate a little bit of what I already said at the beginning of this live stream, Wegmans has decided to close their stores at midnight every night this week and for the unforeseeable future, which is unprecedented for them. The Sweet Earth Chinese chicken frozen dinner is amazing. Yeah, I believe I did have that one. You would think they would want to make more sales instead of close. Well, I think that the reason why they are closing is because they haven't been able to restock anything, and I think that's hurting them. So they want to have a time for their workers to restock everything. So early in the morning when it opens, they have product. And again, I said it in the comment section of the last video, but Wegmans is the #1 ranked grocery store in the country. So it's just kind of odd to see, how sparse all their shelves are after this. 3 short stories every week. One episode was a cowboy, the other was a vampire. And the other was about a woman. You would love the show. Look it up. It's awesome. That sounds like something that I would watch. It's called Cliffhanger TV series. Well, that just brings up Angel and Buffy. Oh, Cliffhangers. Let's see. Cliffhangers. 1979. Oh, I was just a little kid. Oh, the final episode. Oh, it was only... The first episode was on February 27th, 1979, and the last episode was May 1st, 1979. So very, very short. And I would have only been 3 years old, so... Unless I saw like a rerun or something. I don't think I've ever heard of that. The food is everything is stocked at your what grocery store do you, or if you care to say, toilet paper? Yeah, there's no toilet paper anywhere. There wasn't the stores I went to today or yesterday. Lynn, that's funny because Josh had that same story yesterday when he went to Wegmans. There was a lady that was stocking the grocery store soap, and people were taking it as she was putting it there. She finally turned around and she's like, "I'm not done," and people just walked away. Where's Big Josh? Is he sleeping or is he on the road? No, he's sleeping right now. Mount Greenwood, Morgan Park. Oh, Publix. Yeah, I used to go to Publix. Let's see. I used to go to Publix. I used to go to Albertsons. And the last place I lived in Sarasota, I lived directly across the street from Winn-Dixie. So I would just walk over to the store and walk back home. Quiet Place 2 is not coming up. Wait, what do you mean? They canceled it, or is what's going on? They filmed that right near where I live, by the way. Plant Power? Oh, yeah. Bicentennial. Same here. We were born in the same year. Oh, they pushed back all the movies. You know, I haven't been to a movie in the theater in a long time, and that's something that I always love doing. It's just like I haven't been. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if these grocery stores still exist, but that's what was there when I was there. And what was the granary was there? That was the Whole Food store. Is there like a Mom's there? What video games do you play? Do I play? On Twitch, I play EverQuest. So it's either so the games that I do play like EverQuest, Warcraft, and I tried out The Witcher. So I have Witcher 2 and 3. I haven't played 3 yet. I started 2. I started doing that on Twitch. Jorge, it sounds like you got some good ones. I mean, no Wegmans, but you got all the other good ones. You got Whole Foods. We don't have Whole Foods. Josh got the Netflix and chilled ice cream. He finished it. Yeah, the price gouging, that should be that's the other thing is I'm so infuriated that they are what did he say? VRBO, not Airbnb, but our place that we paid for the lady will not refund us, and that is just awful. I could never do that. I just couldn't do it. Like if somebody paid and then things were canceled due to this coronavirus, and then the company that I went through encouraged me to refund money despite policy and voided policy because of the virus, and I still said, well, I was encouraged to refund you, but I wasn't demanded to, so I'm not going to. That's messed up. And that's what's going on with us right now. And it's quite a lot of money. And this person's a horrible person, flat out. I mean, she robbed us. So Just reading some of these comments here. Yeah, I just got back from Walmart tonight. It's still 24/7. Robbed us how? She took our money. She took all of our money, and she won't refund it. Yeah, this is the first time we'd be doing that. I haven't really stayed at too many Airbnbs. I'm normally in a hotel, but because it was going to be not just Josh and me, it was also going to be Craig and his girlfriend, we decided to grab the Airbnb. And if we went with the hotel, we probably would have got our money back. Oh, believe me, we will rate her, and we will call her out. This is just not okay. I'm not okay with it. I couldn't do that to somebody. That is just pure greed, just to be like that, you know? Do a bank dispute. We could try. Oh, they're changing the hours for Walmart. Oh. I didn't hear anything about that when I was there tonight, but it could be. We already tried. Well, it's not Airbnb, it's VRBO, I think. And we already tried, and they said that we had to go through the homeowner, and we did that, and we came back to them, and they were like, well, there's really nothing we can do. So we tried to dispute it with them, and then we also got insurance, and we've called like 12 times, and nobody will get back to us. So it's like, what? This is crazy. Also, I never got reimbursed for my plane ticket, which I got to figure that out too. That's what I mean by robbery. These people are collecting our money for a service we did not get because of the situation, which everything should be void because of. VRBO. It's like Airbnb, I guess. I never heard of it either, but that's what Josh uses. What flavor is Netflix and chill? It's delicious. It's literally the best ice cream I've had. It really is. It's got big chunks of like fudge brownie in it. It's got pretzel swirls, and it's like a vanilla almond base. It's so good. Your name is Belle. I like the straight edge part. I see that and I'm like, yeah, we'd be friends. Belle. Okay. That'll be easy because vegan Belle. Well, we gave her a notice before we were supposed to be there, and also the governor made it a state of emergency to close everything. And so that accompanied with the fact that the entire Natural Products Expo West closed because of the coronavirus, which we showed her. Like, we have no reason to be here since this event closed, and your governor, called this a national emergency or a state emergency. She didn't care about any of that. She did everything she could to keep that money from, giving that money back to us. So I forgot what her name was, but we outed her name in the last live stream. And we told her that it's not okay. It's not okay. I would never do that to somebody. I'm gonna have some bada bean, bada boom, buffalo wing. These are really good. No, this is not a ring. This is my Rode microphone. Somebody asked me that last night. Just playing with it as I'm sitting here. The town on quarantine is New Rochelle, New York. These are so good. If I was going to make my own Netflix and chilled, I would use a banana-based ice cream with probably some of my vanilla 22-day nutrition protein powder. Maybe I would also add, because I like to layer my flavors with vanilla first, and then if I'm going to use chocolate, then the chocolate. It's just so much better. So then I would put maybe a little bit of cacao in there. Maybe. That would be the base. And then I'd have to figure out what else I'm going to put in it. I did not talk to my bank because Josh put it on his card. So he's got to talk to his bank. We were all going to split it. Craig, Cap, me, and Josh. Split it 4 ways. And we were all going to pay Josh that. So if it comes down to it and we don't get our money back, we got to give Josh our portion of it. So it's really good. These are so good. Well, Ted, I don't know if you saw my video last year, but we got invited to Ben and Jerry's, and we were there as vegan ambassadors. So we got to hear all about their vegan line, and we got to make our own ice cream there. We had a little contest, like a Chopped, and we made our own vegan ice cream in their lab, and it was really fun. And I think we made a really, really good one. We called it "Do It for the Gram" because we had like a liquidy swirl of like graham cracker in there. We had like dark pretzels that we turned into pretzel bark with some chocolate, and then we had to use raspberry and vinaigrette. So we made like a reduction, and we made like a raspberry swirl. Was it raspberry or was it strawberry? Maybe it was strawberry reduction. And then we used we used the chocolate almond and the vanilla almond, and we swirled all of it together, put it in. It was so good. Oh my God. This isn't spicy, by the way, but it is really good. I can taste there's got to be like nutritional yeast on this and stuff. It doesn't quite look like a Frito. It's like fava beans and broad bean. I haven't heard of the broad bean, but oh yeah, okay, yeah. Fava bean and broad bean. Night, Jorge. Oh, the cat. Oh, bye, cat. Oh, I don't know the answer to that, Mike. I wouldn't know. The Frito Bandito. It does kind of look like a fat cornflake. There's so many different flavors too. There's another one I have right here just in case. We didn't end up going to the gym again tonight, so I worked out at home. And, you know, the gym's probably not a good place to go to to not come into contact with, like, germs and stuff, so. They're garlicky. Have you had those ones? I haven't had the garlicky ones. You're still full from. I had dinner hours and hours and hours ago, so I'm kind of hungry. The dogs, yes, they're sleeping. I made some soy curls tonight, actually. Really good. I just threw different things I had here. Those are the best meals, when I just throw things together that I have in the pantry. You want to see the boombox that they came in? All right, fine. Boombox. Full of fun. Look at that. There's so many in here. I'm trying not to eat ones that I don't have double of, because I think I might want to do like maybe I want to do like a taste test video or something. But let's see what we have here. These are the garlic onion, which I already have. I'm wondering if there's any here that I haven't seen. I keep finding all these different mesquite barbecue, sweet sriracha. You know, I haven't had the sweet sriracha because I don't really like spicy, but I might try them next if we're still hungry. If we're still hungry. Meaning if I'm still hungry. It's funny because the cacao ones, they don't really appeal to me. I haven't tried them though. The mesquite ones are your favorite? Lasagna without tomato sauce. Yeah, I don't know if I would like that either. Wait, I didn't even see that. Oh yeah, they are. The speakers are bean shaped. 22 degrees. Is that how cold is it here? $30 here. It's hot. It's actually hot in here. I know it says 30 degrees, but it's hot. The sweet sriracha are good enough. Yeah, so I will try them. I'm lucky I have all the snacks. I don't always like all the snacks, and I have a big snack bin that John usually goes through when he comes over here. But I do like these. Another good kind of snack that I got was the bitchin' sauce and the dessert sauce. So good. All right. The buffalo one is done. I could open the sweet sriracha and try these. They're just little packets. They're not like the big, huge ones. So, all right, let's go. Let's try one of these ones. Somebody heard me. There he is. Yeah, they're not spicy. That's pretty good. Do I get endorsements from all these companies? It really depends. Not all of them. Actually, not most of them. Sometimes, if I really like something, we work something out. Belle, I'm sorry that I'm keeping you up. But the good thing is you could always come back and watch this later. $73 in Naples. Now that's the perfect temperature. I don't like spicy foods. Hey Ash, how's it going? John must have ate all the snacks. You don't come over anymore. No, there's still a lot more snacks here that he can eat. The dogs are being quiet. Well, all the lights are off. Except for in here. And it's late, you know. They normally are sleeping right now. Yeah, these are good, and they're not that spicy. I could sit here and eat these. 100 calories. Whatever that means. I'm not a calorie counter. Now we're talking about ketchup. It's cold where you are. It's cold outside here, but it's nice and warm. For some reason, this room always gets really warm. Probably because I have a light over here. I got my computer on. I got lights. You can't see them, but I got lights above. So, this room. And then I walk out, and it's like walking into like a refrigerator. Sorry I'm chewing these in you guys' ear, but they're so good. These are the ones I'm eating right now. What time is it over there, Ash? I got Indy sleeping by me and Zeke's just laying there staring at me. It's so weird. Like, I'll be sleeping and I'll wake up. I'll just open my eyes. I won't move or anything. And he's like just staring at me, sleeping. He's obsessed with me. I don't grow a garden here where I live. I don't really have the yard for it. My yard gets really swampy in the backyard. I'd like to have a garden. And John usually does one every year, though. He's got a nice yard to do it. You love watching people eat? Well, I'm eating. You like watching vampires eat, though. Someday I will have a garden. All gone. I'm sad. Those are really good. I'm over here promoting these. I'm not even trying. I'm just eating them. Bada bing. You know, I've seen them. I've seen them for a while now. I featured them in an Aldi video, and I'm basically like, oh, they got these. These are vegan, but I had never tried them. I didn't buy them. I just, you know, I'm like, oh, these are vegan, and I'm glad they sent me those because I had no intention of going and buying them, but they're really good. That's awesome, Jim. Jim says I grow half my food in the summer and it's all in large pots. That's the way to go. Someday I want to be able to do that and just like harvest it all, jar stuff up, and just have like a nice supply. So I don't even have to go to the store. Should I eat one more pack? I'm still kind of hungry. I'll wait a little bit. I'm gonna try my hardest not to do an all-nighter, but guess what? It's already 3:40 in the morning. I should probably cut this, oh man, maybe half an hour more. The problem is this is fun. I like doing this. I like hanging out, doing live streams. And I feel like I can just do this on this channel. Whereas I don't do it on the main channel because for whatever reason, every time I do, I lose a bunch of followers. So not going to do that anymore. And I don't know why that is either. But I'm going to be updating the videos that I just posted earlier today. I'm going to be doing more of those, just kind of show as, vlogs several times a week on, what's going on with this whole coronavirus thing. Yeah, I said I was going to end it. I kept saying I was going to end it yesterday, but I really need to do that today. Although I'm not tired. If I did end it right now, I'd probably just go on Twitch or something or stream over there. You're right, Lynn. If I say 30 minutes, it's like 2 more hours, which would bring us to, almost sunrise. Not quite. Do I squat? Yeah, I've been doing it at the gym on the program that we've been using, which is the free program that Brian Turner has. So yeah. And that's just something that I just started doing. So I'm not like a huge amount of weight or anything like that. I try to take it easy because, I always try to take it easy with certain kind of lifting, especially like squats and stuff like that, because I did have back surgery like 10 years ago and I don't want to have that again. So you are sick, but it's hard to leave. Well, I'm sorry you're sick and I hope you feel better, but I guess this is easy just to sit and watch. I don't know if you're watching this on your phone or whatever, but I appreciate it. Vegan Lindsay, Vegan Lion says, I'm thankful for you and all those in chats, keeping my anxiety down. Yeah. I think that's another thing that I'd like to just get on here and like talk to people so everybody's not worried and, panicking in light of what's going on. And like, we're just smart about it and everything will be fine. I should say everything should be fine. I don't like to promise things because I don't like to break promises and I would hate to do that. So. Oh, I appreciate that, Ash. Yeah, my live stream was so long yesterday. I think it was the second longest stream I had ever done. But we are going to do a 24-hour stream someday. I don't know when, but I think that'd be fun. We'll just get a bunch of snacks and we'll go. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm getting ready to go, and then somebody will ask that one question that just wakes up my brain. All the lights start flashing in, all the neuron synapses, and all of a sudden I just go off on a tangent, and I just speak for like a half an hour, and I'm like, oh, what did I just missed every question. Thank you, Lynn. I'm glad other people like my voice because I hate my voice. We talked about that last night. A lot of people seem to not like their own voice, but I don't like it, but I'm okay with it. It's my only voice that I ever had. Oh, and there was a question. I don't remember who asked it, but I will answer it. It might not even have been anybody in this chat, but somebody asked if I and I don't know if this was to be mean or a legit question, but somebody said, have I always had a lisp? And the answer to that is yes. I had to go to speech class when I was a little kid to learn how to say my S's and the barnacles and all that stuff. But I also had braces for like 6 years, and then I wore a retainer. And then within the last, I think it was like 7 years ago, I got the Invisalign because the braces I had when I was a little kid, I never wore my retainer after I got them off. I rebelled. I didn't want braces in the first place, and my parents got them for me, and I was mad. But looking back, they did the right thing, and they did the caring, loving thing, and I should have just worn my retainer. But I didn't, and my teeth got all crooked again. So, like 8 years ago, I went and I got the Invisalign, and it took me 14 months to correct my teeth with the Invisalign, and then I still to this day wear the retainer. I can go like 3 nights without wearing it, so I haven't worn it for the last couple nights. I'll probably wear it tomorrow night. I'm not going to put it in tonight. And yeah, I guess it causes it's hard for me not to like talk and never lisp, just because I don't know. Whatever. Wahita also says, I know the pain of years of those braces. You know what? I'll tell you a story. I had braces in, like, not the Invisalign, but when I was like in 6th, 7th grade, I had those braces. They cut your cheeks and everything. Well, the one fight that I was in was summer after 6th grade, and it wasn't even really a fight, but this older kid in the neighborhood told my friend that I was talking trash about him, and then he came over and told me that he was talking about trash about me. And one night we were standing out in the street and we were gonna fight, and I was like, well, I'm not going to hit you because I would never do that first. So we sat there for like a good 15, 20 minutes, to the point where everybody there we just start talking and nothing was happening anymore. And I'm not even looking at him. I'm just kind of standing there and he's not really looking at me. And the next thing I know, everything was really weird, like there was different weird things, and it was like, there was blurs of like black and red and everything. And then I was thinking to myself, what's going on right now? Like, where am I? And then it just dawned on me. I'm like, oh, I bet he hit me. I bet he punched me. Did he knock me out? Like, what's going on? And like, finally, when I could open my eyes and see, yeah, he sucker punched me pretty hard in the mouth. And I never fell down, but I did black out. And I was, I guess, like 15, 20 feet away from him. I guess I stumbled and walked over, not knowing whatever. And then right when I could see everything again and everything was back, everything came back, the next thing that I realized was my cheek was in my braces. And I pulled my cheek out of my braces and I could put my tongue through my cheek. And I was like, so at that point, normally I would want to go back and hit him back or fight him. But then I was like, my cheek is really messed up. I just turned around and walked over to my cousin's house, and I went in the bathroom and I looked in the mirror, and sure enough, right here was just sliced right open. I was like, oh my God, this isn't good. So I went home. My mom took me to the emergency room, and I went to the doctor, and they put like this cloth over my face like this with like a little hole, and he stitched it up. I had to get stitches to close my cheek back up, and I could put my tongue right into that. So then after that, I could feel the stitches like in the inside of my cheek. And I remember for the next few days, I remember specifically hanging out with my friend, and I couldn't smile, I couldn't laugh, because if I did, it would tear on that, and my whole face was like swollen up, and I couldn't eat anything. I could only drink like milkshakes and stuff like this. This is before I was vegan. I could only drink like milkshakes and stuff. Yeah, this is before I was even vegetarian. And so then, and I remember the New Kids on the Block was brand new, and they were playing Hangin' Tough. And my friend was making me laugh, and I was like, I can't laugh, man, I can't laugh. And he's like, sorry, man. And then the next day, my mom had called his mom, and she was just like, what? They had a little fight, big deal. And she goes, no, you need to come down here and, whatever, and check it out, because it's not just like, a little fight. So she came down there with her son that punched me, and we were out on the front porch, and she was talking to him. She looked at my face, and then she yelled at him, and she's like, she yelled at him. I don't know what she said, because she said it all in Spanish. And then the whole time in my head, I'm like, all right, he sucker punched me, so I'm gonna kick him right in the face. I'm just gonna kick him as hard as I can right in the face right now. And right before I was ready to do that, he just like kneeled down and started crying. He's like, I'm so sorry, you're my best friend, I don't believe I did this, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And I was just like immediately, like, because I'm a sucker for like apologies, so I'm like, oh man, it's okay. So that's the one time that I it wasn't even a fight, it was a sucker punch. Throwback, long time ago. I still remember the exact same clothes that I was wearing on that day. I was wearing like a Vision Streetwear shirt and these long black shorts with like a white design on the left leg. It was weird. Yeah. Sixth grade, just graduated sixth grade, going into seventh. Oh, and by the way, sometimes that scar in my mouth still hurts. Not really hurts, but it's like awkward feeling all these years later, right here. Like you guys really wanted to hear that, but I don't know. Babu said something earlier, like, I talk about these bad things, but I won't tell the story. Well, there's a story for you. We could talk about, okay, so then, for those of you that know that I am straight edge, like Belle here, which for those of you that don't know what straight edge is, that I don't participate. I don't do drugs or alcohol. I don't drink, and I never have. I've never tasted alcohol in my life, and I've never done drugs or smoked a cigarette or anything like that. So knowing that, growing up as a teenager, I had friends that, and I think this was like summer vacation of, just graduated 10th or 11th grade going into, I think it was 11th grade going into, senior year. And my friends, like, they actually said, like, our goal for this summer vacation is to get Chris drunk. And I'm like, nope, I'm straight edge. I don't do that. And they're like, yeah, you're only going to do that for so long. And here I am all these years later. But anyway, they tried. And the closest they came to getting me to try alcohol was my friend had a jar of cherries that were spiced in rum. I don't know what alcohol tastes like. I had no idea. But he gave me one. I'm like, oh, cool. What is this? And when I put it up to my mouth, it was a weird, strange smell. I'm like, to me, it smelled like rubbing alcohol. I'm like, oh, what's wrong with this? And then I was like, wait, is that alcohol? And he's like, and I just knew he was lying to me the way he looked at me and said that. I was like, there's alcohol in this. And he's like, just eat it, man. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. Anyway. Chris, just tell people you've lived in Barcelona for a while. Wait, what's that going to do? Actually, Rachel went to Barcelona last year. You're semi-straight. Well, unfortunately, there is no semi-straight edge. You're either straight edge or you're not straight edge. Straight edge is kind of like a lifestyle. There is drug-free, but straight edge is like a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Wahida says, one of my friends wants me to drink for my 21st birthday for some reason. You want to hear how good I am and not giving into peer pressure? So peer pressure was one thing that I didn't give into. And a lot of kids do, a lot of younger kids do, a lot of my friends did. And I got to say, it's one thing that just never affected me. And I'll tell you, you just reminded me of my 21st birthday, exactly where I was. Well, I was skateboarding with my friends in Sarasota, Florida when I lived there. And it was my 21st birthday, and my friends, I just hung out with them, and they wanted to go to this bar. And I'm like, I don't want to go to a bar, but all my friends are going to this bar. So we walk into this bar, and one of my friends, there was some guy there that was like, this older guy, not like old, but I don't know. I was only 21, so he's, I don't know, maybe 50s or something. And one of my friends tells him, he's like, hey, it's this guy's 21st birthday today. He's like, oh my God, drinks on me. I'm going to buy you a drink. I'm like, no, I don't drink. He goes, you're drinking tonight. And I'm like, no, I'm not drinking. And he bought me a drink, and he's like, here you go. I'm like, no, I don't. He goes, well, you will tonight. You're 21. You got to do it. Everyone there was like, come on, do it. Drink. It's your 21st birthday. You got it. And I'm like, no, I'm straight edge. I don't drink. I'm not doing it. And then finally he's like, well, fine, then I'll drink it. And he drank it. But like everyone there was just like, do it, drink it. And they just weren't backing down, but neither was I, you know. I'm like, you're going to have to force me to drink because I'm not doing it. But anyway, that's... it's funny too, because most of my friends that I hung out were exactly the opposite of straight edge. Hanging out in my apartment when I lived in Sarasota, getting drunk and all that crazy stuff. Oh, thank you, Plant Power. I'm glad you like my stories. So that's what I did on my 21st birthday. I avoided alcohol. Well, I'm glad that you didn't give into that peer pressure, Nicole, because a lot of people, you know, I've heard more often than not, like, oh, you never drink, you don't. Well, you know what? I respect that. Yeah, I wish I could do that. And I'm like, well, you could, but I guess the other thing I should just mention that, like, I'm not judgy. I don't care. Like, most of my, actually, I don't really know too many people that are straight edge. So with that being said, like, my whole family, everybody, no, straight edge never meant Christian. My whole family, none of them are straight edge. Like, yeah, I don't like not be around them because they're not straight edge. Like, yeah, doesn't matter to me. I guess I don't want to be around. I don't care if people drink around me at all. You know, I just don't want to be around belligerent people. And the other thing is I don't care if people, you know, because I've you know, friends that smoke marijuana, and I think by all means they should be able to do it. Like, I'm actually for the legalization and everything. Personally, I don't do it, and I don't want to smell it. So if somebody else wants to do that, it's completely fine. But I don't want to smell it. I don't want them to do that around me or the space that I'm in. So, yeah, I really don't care what people do as long as I don't want them to smoke crack around me either. You know what I'm saying? But drinking alcohol, like, I don't have to. That doesn't go into my system by them drinking near me. I also don't want to be around somebody that's smoking a cigarette. My dad, you know? So. Oh, and that's the other thing that I say. Wahida, exactly. That's the other thing I tell people. Wahida says, I like to have control over my motor function. So not only that, but I don't, you know, I'm very aware that you can't will yourself out of being high or drunk. So I don't know. I've never been drunk. I don't know what it's like, but I do know that I don't want to lose my state of mind. I don't want to ever be in that position where I don't know. I don't know how I would be if I was, because I've never I don't know what the feeling is. And sometimes, it's interesting. It's like I'm interested to know what it's like. Not that I want to do it, but I ask other people. I'm like, so what's it like? Describe it to me. What is it like? Because I don't know. And most people are like, most people have experienced it, so they're like, oh, it's just, drunk. I know. I don't know. I don't know. I actually go more into detail on this in one of the videos I posted on this channel a few months ago. I just basically say why I'm straight edge and how I'm straight edge. Tell a spooky story because your kids. A spooky story. You want me to or you don't want me to for your kid? A spooky story. Well, we're going to need to pop open a bag of bada bean, bada boom if we're going to tell a spooky story. I don't even know what spooky story I can tell you guys that I haven't never told you guys, and I feel like I've exhausted those stories. Oh yeah, these are garlicky. You told her about last night's the alien one. That's pretty spooky. Or let's see. All right. I know you guys have all heard this one, but I'm going to tell it just because you asked me to. All right. So this is like the most convincing event that had happened to me that makes me be like, what the heck did I just... Anyway, all right. I like to be very detailed. So there I was. Summer 1998. I had just moved back from Florida. Didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. I wanted to do something more with my life than just, I went off to Florida after I was 18 and I, lived on my own with my friends, got some jobs and then decided, okay, now maybe I want to go to school, but I'm not sure. I got my real estate license, but I never used it. Too shy to talk to people. And then I was looking into financial advisor stuff. Didn't want to do that either. So then I enrolled in college with a friend for criminal justice. My new goal was I wanted to be in the FBI. So let's start with criminal justice. We started summer school at a community college here, Syracuse, New York. At the time I was staying at my parents' house, which is about 45-minute drive to that college. And I went with my best friend and we would carpool. So it's early morning in the summer, I think it's July, that time of the year. Where I live, the cornfields are really high, and it was early in the morning. We had to be at class at 8 in the morning. He was kind of late. Got there at 7:15, and I'm like, dude, we need to go. Just go. So we went the back roads, and it was pretty foggy from, the sun just rising, the cornfields and being just, kind of foggy. We're going up this winding kind of road called Salt Springs Road, from the small town that I grew up in towards Syracuse area. You guys have all heard the story, right? You guys know where I'm going with this. Is this a good enough story to tell you? All right. If you guys are really afraid of scary things, you might want to plug your ears on this story because this is scary. Okay, so we're driving, and as we're driving, Lyndon knows. Don't give it away. Don't give it away, guys. So we're driving, and as we're going pretty fast, okay? So we're driving, and as we're driving, I'm in the passenger side. My friend, he's driving his like nice new. He worked really hard and he bought a Cadillac. It was a used one, but he's got a nice Cadillac back there in 1998. So a nice ride, white Cadillac, driving, and out from the cornfield from the left hand side comes out from the cornfield this girl, probably 12 or 13 years old, long dark hair. And she kind of just comes right out in front of us, and we swerve. We almost hit her. We swerve, and we're going pretty fast, So we swerve. We didn't hit her, and I'm thinking like, oh, we're just going too fast. And I look back, and I'm looking at her, and there was something about her that just caught my eye that I never mentioned. I did not mention. I figured, we're going pretty fast. That's probably why. But that just something really, really weird that I saw, and I'm just not going to mention it. I just kind of look back, and I'm like, what? Should we stop? Should we keep going? I say I don't regret a lot of things, but I regret this. I regret not stopping because we didn't stop. We kept going because we were late to school, and for whatever reason, we're like, we didn't hit her, like whatever. But I really wish we stopped because, so for the next few days, this is 1998. The internet was very new. Google didn't exist yet. None of that stuff. So I looked in the town newspaper. Was there any younger girl missing? Was anybody kidnapped? Did anybody need help? Was there anything in the news at all? Nothing. For the next week I looked, nothing. So I'm like, all right. And then I didn't think too much of it as the years went on. And then almost 10 years later, I'm living in Washington, D.C. area. I'm living in Arlington, Virginia, and I'm, closer to my goal. I had graduated from college with my, bachelor's for criminal justice, and, now I'm a special investigator. And I'm working in the D.C. area, and I'm hanging out in my apartment with a couple friends who, ironically, are from here. That ended up moving down in that area. One of them, in the Shirlington area, one of them in Maryland. And we were all hanging out that day. And for some reason, we were talking about back home, and my one friend starts talking about this, scary ghost stories. And then it got me thinking. Like a bell went off in my head, and the one detail that I never talked about that was so weird about that girl that I kept to myself all those years, for 10 years, finally started questioning. I started questioning, like, wait a minute. And then I just said to them, I'm like, guys, I don't know if this is a ghost story, but this happened to me. And I told them the story. And the one detail that I left out was when she came out, and right before when we were driving by her, the one feature that really got to me, and the reason why I dismissed it was I'm thinking, oh, we're just going super fast. It was a blur. No, I wasn't in a rocket ship. I was in a car. And the one feature was she did not have a face. There was no face. Now, I saw it with my own eyes. I'm not making this up. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not lying. This is the truth. She did not have a face. And after I said that, my friend said, wait a minute, was this on Salt Springs Road? I'm like, yes, how'd you know? And she's like, well, my grandpa used to tell me that road was haunted, and that, some girl died there back in 30, 40 years ago, which, that was another 10 years ago, 20 years ago that this happened. So yeah, it's a long time ago. And that people said that they saw a girl about that age on that road. Now, what it gets weirder is that I looked it up. I don't remember where I found it, but I did look it up way back in the primitive internet, and I did find some stuff on it. And I also found that spirits, whether you believe in it or not, and I'm a very skeptical person myself, but sometimes when they come back, they forget. They can't. You see them in wooded areas or something like that. In this case, it was cornfields, and they can't forget they can't remember entirely what their prior life was, and they're stuck here, and they either don't have features, like they don't have feet and they look like they're floating, or they don't have a face, or they don't have a mouth or something. In my case, this girl didn't have a face. Now, I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm just saying this girl didn't have a face. Battery exhausted. Hold on one second. Of course, it's going to happen right now in the middle of my story. Okay. So on that same road, my brother's, I knew him, but not really well, but my brother's friend who lived in our neighborhood, he actually died on that road. Years later after I witnessed that. And then we almost got in a really bad accident on that road. And at the time I was in the car with, I forget, I think my one friend, I think it was my friend Tim, and John's ex-girlfriend. She was driving the car, and there was a bad storm, and we were coming over the hill, like right at the top of the hill where I actually ended up seeing that. And when we came over the hill, there had been a storm, and there was a tree down in the road. It wasn't a very big tree. It was kind of like a little tree, but it was down in the road. And John's girlfriend kind of panicked, and there's no way we could have stopped. We were going too fast, and it was too close to the car after the hill. So there's no way she could slam down the brakes, and she started to turn. And if she turned to the left, we would have went into a big tree. And if she turned to the right, we would have went into a telephone pole. So she started to try to turn, and I just grabbed the wheel, and I go, hit the tree in front of us. And we just went right into the tree in front of us instead of killing ourselves. So, yeah, that road is just... Anyway, that's the story. Was that scary enough? I'm trying to go back and see some of these. Speaking of no face, my whole screen went black. Oh, Lucy, sorry. Somebody asked me to tell a scary story for her daughter, so you came at the wrong time. Let me think. Maybe I can tell a not scary story, a nice story. Wait, I'm trying to go back to some of these in control. Okay. Okay, let's tell a funny story for Lucy. Lucy, are you still here? Or did you leave? Sounds like an episode of the show with the brothers. I'm tired. I quit watch. Wait, what are we talking about? I'm lost, guys. Did I lose? Is everything? Oh wait, it seems like, is this stream okay now, or did I lose everybody? Puppies and kittens. Tell Lucy the and stuff story. Any of my cases as an investigator. Okay, so I can tell cases about, or I can tell some of those stories, but I can't obviously tell any, details of, confidential things that I can't talk about, which I don't remember any of those anymore. But yeah, I could tell a story about that. Let me think of one. I told you guys like the most awkward, scariest one already. So that was one. You probably don't want to hear that if you're like scared of the other one. So I'll have to tell, let me think. Well, I worked at the Pentagon a few times, and this is kind of crazy. So they need, the amount of ID you need to get in the Pentagon is ridiculous. So I was an investigator, United States government, Department of Defense. I had a badge, all that stuff. And I went to the Pentagon for an investigation, and they're like, we need 3 forms of ID. And I'm like, well, here's my government ID, my badge, and here is my my driver's license. I don't have another form of ID. That should be enough, right? Nope, it wasn't enough. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So somebody had to come down and escort me through the Pentagon, and that place is humongous. There are, if they didn't take me back to where I would never have found my way back. So I'm kind of glad I didn't have 3 forms of ID. The place is huge, and it was funny because the day I was there, Lieutenant Dan was there. Gary Sinise was there, and he was out in the middle in the courtyard talking to people. And one of the security is like, yeah, Lieutenant Dan's here. And I was like, what? Lieutenant Dan? And then I heard him say, yeah, Gary's here. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Wasn't that good of a story, but Lieutenant Dan, you missed the ghost story, Rachel. I told the ghost story. Let me see. Can I tell another one? Oh, no. Some of you don't want to hear the ghost story, so let's talk about what do I do now instead of being an investigator? Vegan zombie. YouTube. Full time. You told me I do. I have a battery ready. Yeah. I can't just, it's gonna die. It's gonna die, and then that makes me know that I have to put a new one in. Even if it didn't die and I put a new one in, it would still go black when I changed it. I know I said I was only gonna go for a half hour more, but let's come up with another good story. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Cool. Is that a ring? No, it's the little thing that had the road. The cable. It just kind of like went around the cable, and it was sitting here, and I'm playing with it as I'm talking to you guys. Forrest Gump really is it's a really good movie. I agree. I don't know if it's the best movie ever. I mean, the best movie ever probably might be this movie right here, but who knows? I was almost abducted when I was little. I could tell that story. No, we're not going to tell any more. I feel like these are all bad stories. Let's tell a good story. But you guys know E.T. No Loch Ness Monster stories. Tom Hanks and his wife are okay. Yeah, I met Dee Wallace. I could tell the story about how I met the Munchkins from The Wizard of Oz. Or is that too boring? I got to know from you guys because I've told the story a million times. I have seen Cloverfield. All right, I'll tell the story, Lucy. Let me think. How old was I? I was probably, I don't know, 9, 10, 11, summer. In our backyard, there's a little creek. And further back, there's a big creek, which is the river that runs north. It's from Chittenango Falls. So Chittenango is a small town that I grew up in. And the falls come down, and there's a big kind of creek. And I would go back there and play there when I was little. And, different parts of the year, it's more dangerous than not. If it's like springtime, you don't want to go back there because the water is really rushing pretty bad. But I would go back there all times of the year. I would go back there when it was full of ice and smash the ice and stuff like that. And I would go there in the summer, and I would go, rafting later on in life when I got a little bit older. But when I was like this age, 10 or 11, I had a few friends with me that were, friends from across the street, and I was walking in the water, and there was a guy across there, and he was doing something inappropriate over in the trees that I had no idea what he was doing. And so this is like the back road of where it is. So it's just very weird and random that somebody would be parked on the side of the road and in the wooded area. Now he's on the other side of the creek, and I'm on the opposite side of him, closer to my backyard of my house. Now when you're in the creek, the water's running. You can't really hear anything. And my mom sees me out there, and she sees this guy, and she's like yelling for one of the neighbors to tell me to come back. And this guy, he comes to the edge, and he looks at me, and I can still kind of in my brain know what he looks like. And he drove like this station wagon. We're talking about mid 80s. And he just kind of was like very, very, and I know now as an adult what he was doing, but as a kid, I had no idea. And he told me, I couldn't hear what he was saying. He just was like talking very, very quiet to me, almost wanted me to come all the way over to him. He was very quiet. He just kept telling me to come over. Think of a guy, kind of heavier set, glasses, disheveled hair, mustache, and he's telling me, he just was being very, very quiet so that I would keep coming closer, because I'm already in the water. I'm walking in the water. It's summertime, and I'm a kid, and I was playing in the creek, so I'm walking closer over to him. And the neighbor, her name was Michelle, and she was my age, and if you guys saw the picture that I posted where my dad made the big Voltron in the snow, and I'm with those other kids, those kids are her brother. So anyway, she's yelling at me. She's like, "Chris, your mom says come back." And I heard her say that, but I'm like, hold on a second. I'm trying to see what this guy wants, So I'm going closer, and I never heard a word he said. He would just be very quiet, and like basically, so I would go, "I can't hear you, what?" And he's like, and I go closer, and I go closer. And then she's like, "Chris, your mom says come back." So, and now she's yelling at me. She's like, "You need to come back, you need to come back now." And I didn't end up going all the way over to him. I came back, and then he kind of took off because he saw that my mom was yelling to her and she was yelling to me, and that I was turning around and coming back the other way. And I had no idea. I had no idea of any of that. Oh yeah, I might not be here today if I went over there. So I come back, and they called the police, and the police came, and they did a sketch. An artist came over and talked to me and asked me a bunch of questions like, what did he want? What did he say? I'm like, I don't know what he said. What was he doing? I don't know. He was kind of like in the trees over there. Like, I don't know. And end of story. Looks like Jim left. Good night, Jim. I have lived quite a interesting abduction story. Okay, I told it. It wasn't an alien abduction story. That was last night. How come I quit being a private investigator? Okay. I was never a private investigator. I was a special investigator. There's a difference. So I did stuff dealing with national security. Not Corona. I just kind of ate that wrong. And so I was a special investigator. And I started doing that in April 2008, and I ended up creating the Vegan Zombie in May 2009. And I love doing I ended up realizing that I failed what I was going to do. What my goal was to be in the FBI. I wanted to be a special agent in the FBI. And when I say I failed because I hit the age requirement and I could no longer do it. So I never gave up. I still put 12 years into trying to do this. Sometimes when they say you can do anything you put your mind to, it's just not true, because I put everything into this and I still didn't get it. But with that being said, it led me to something better. So I came up with the vegan zombie because of being, like kind of bummed out that I would never do what I wanted and I no longer liked my job. So I started doing the vegan zombie and it started doing, better and better. It started taking off, and I realized that I was using all of my free time to put into the vegan zombie, and all of the money I made from my job I was using for the vegan zombie. I was buying, camera equipment, sound equipment, special effects stuff. I was making movies with my friends, which turned out to be vegan zombie videos, and I'm paying for these videos and everything. I put everything I could into this. I would go out to these expos and I would pay for my plane ticket and John's plane ticket. I'd pay for everything, fund it completely from my actual full-time job. And then it got to the point where I was able to be a contractor. So at first I was like a full-time special investigator, and then I opted to be a contractor, which meant I was more free to do whatever I wanted and to work as much or as little as I wanted. I no longer had to put in a minimum 40-hour work week. I could put in, I could go 80 hours or I could do 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I like that because I still had the security of having the job if I needed it, but at the same time, I could put, full-time. I was already putting full-time hours into the vegan zombie, but I could do the vegan zombie. I could focus more on the vegan zombie and just know that I had that job if things didn't go okay. So now I'm supplementing my income with, making okay money on vegan zombie, and also, okay money with my special investigator work. And then I got to the point in summer of 2016 where my liaison was talking to me and said, like, hey, we need you need to work more full-time hours. I'm like, what? Why? I'm a contractor. I don't. And he's like, well, you do, or we're going to cut your contract. And I thought, I don't know to this day why they were saying this, but probably because I was only working 5 to 10 hours a week, just because I was putting everything in a vegan zombie. And, he told me, he's like, look, I'm going to move. I'm moving to LA. And I wanna be a contractor out there. And he's like, we can't. We have no contract in LA, which is weird because we had contracts in every state except for California. So he's like, there is none in LA, and so in order to keep the job, I needed to work at least one case. I needed to do at least one case a week or one case a month. I forget. But that's why I was doing it. I was keeping the job just in case I needed it, when in fact I was putting all of my time into vegan zombie. And then he said, there is no contract in California. I'm like, okay, well, I'm still moving out there. This is my opportunity. I need to do it. I'm going, I've already rented my house out. I'm going to go there. So if need be, I will contract to the closest city to LA, which would be probably Las Vegas, somewhere around there. And I would go there once a month and do a little bit of work just to keep the job. And so he said, no, you got to work. For the remainder of the year, which was the next 6 or 7 months, we need you to work full-time hours, like 40-hour weeks for our contract, or else we're going to have to cut the contract. And we need an answer right now. And I'm like, standing in my bedroom right over there, and I'm like, I knew what I had to do, because that would have killed my dream, and I felt like I wouldn't have been able to do what I really loved, and I would have regretted it. So I told him at that moment, and this was scary too, because this is what I went to school for. This is what I got a degree for. And I told him, I said, I reluctantly resign. That was it. I had to turn in my badge, and I no longer was a special investigator. And at that moment, I felt kind of scared, but also very relieved. And I'm like, I gotta go. I like full-time vegan zombie. I gotta, I gotta push it 100%. Like I was already doing 100%, so I gotta push it 200%. And that's what I did. And I've been fortunate enough to have vegan zombie be my main thing for the last 3.5 years. And thanks for your support, everyone. So I love it. It's my passion. It's awesome to be able to have the job that you love, because it doesn't feel like work. I mean, it does sometimes, but it's what I love. So I love doing it. I've never experienced something like this because, I've worked so many jobs over the years, and I've done everything from being a garbage man, working crazy hours, and to manual labor and in the food industry and special investigator, and now I'm doing what I love. So yeah, do what you love and don't regret it. Did not have a plan B, and a lot of people say that sometimes that's the best thing, because if you have a plan B, you're more likely to give up on plan A. So I didn't have a plan B. That was it. I've made it work. So yeah. Thumbs up for this story. Thank you. Yeah, give it. Yeah, if you want, give it. If you like the stream, give it a thumbs up. If you like that I do these, give it a thumbs up. It is 4:30 in the morning. Give it a thumbs up. What are we doing? Let's see. We have, since I've been talking. Oh, hey, Apple lover. Let's see. All right, guys. I mean, I don't. Anything else you guys want to know while we're here? We got 60 people watching. Now I want to know more. Is there a video we can see the story, Linda? What are we talking about here, Linda? My hat is awesome. Thank you. You can purchase them on my web store. This is my own brand thing. I have these ones, and I also have the vegan zombie one and the zombie crew. And they're in hats too. Directly supports my channel. And you get an awesome beanie. 3 different styles too. Actually, they're not on the store yet, but they will be hopefully this coming week. But the vegan zombie ones are on there. Had to clarify. Was I in the field or the office? Both. I would do both. I would go out and I would do my investigations, and then I would come home and I would and I work, this is all from home, and then I would type up my reports, which I really hated. Like when I finished high school, when I finished college, I was like, yes, I never have to do another report again. And I get this job and it's like all reports, and they're not fun reports either. So that was one of the reasons why I really grew to hate the job. But sometimes I did TDYs, and I would go back down to the DC area where I started working, and I would do investigations there. So, yeah. Let's talk about E.T. E.T.'s a good dude. Sending love from Italy. How's Italy doing anyway? I heard some, bad things are going on over there because of the virus. Near-death story is what Linda referred to. What's Linda talking about? Does anyone else hear things that aren't there when they stay up late? Sometimes, but then I wonder, maybe they are there. Indy sees it too. Now Indy will see. Well, he'll see. If there's anyone at the door, if there's a mailman, if there's somebody in the yard, if there's a rabbit, if there's a squirrel, he barks like crazy. He just goes crazy, bark. Now, if he hears a door creak, he's like all up over here, scared, ready to get on the bed with me, ready to sit in my lap. I mean, he's seen some ghosts, so it seems like. Talking to aliens? Ash started what? Ash started it, not me. What's going on here, guys? What do we want to hear? Don't make me pull this car over. Lindsay said Ash wanted to hear your near-death story, and Linda said no. Yeah, I was advised not to tell that one. I have other ones. I've had near-death stories, a few of them actually. There's a couple I can't tell. Unfortunately, the most interesting story I could tell you guys, I can't tell you guys. So, the one I should never tell. Linda heard the story because she was on Twitch that night. There was only 3 of us. So, I'm probably not going to tell that story. I've thought about telling that story for many years. Chris, you filmed Gary Yourofsky's best speech ever. I did. If you go to this channel right here, and you go to my main channel, and then you look down to my most viewed video, Gary Yourofsky best speech ever. Boom. So we filmed that in Harlem at a community college years ago. And yeah, so I can tell you about that. So I was in California, Expo West, and Expo was done. And I went out to dinner with a bunch of vegans, and we went to Shojin. And it was my first time there. Shojin is a all-vegan sushi place. They come out with the flamethrower, and it's just really cool. And I sat next to Gary. Gary was with us. I sat next to Gary, and I basically listened to he told all his stories, and I was just like, yeah, that's awesome. And he said that, he's got that speech, that best speech ever, that he goes to different colleges and he tells everybody the speech. And he's like, I've got a better one. I've got a more condensed one that's not as long. This one is about 45 minutes. I need someone to film it, but every time somebody says they will, they just always flake out on me. And I'm like, I'll film it. And he's like, well, if you want to, you can, but most people, just flake out. And I'm like, I'll film it. And he said, okay, well, I'm like, well, I'm in Syracuse. He goes, well, I'll be doing a speech in New York City. I think it was in March. Oh, you know what? I need to go look at that. This might be the anniversary of it.
Okay, I'm going to
March 24th. So I need to do, we're coming up, in like 10 days or so. Yeah, 9 days. It'll be March 24th. Anyway, I said, I'll film it. I'll meet you there and I'll film it. So, he contacts me when he's about to do it. And John and me drive down to New York City, and we meet him in Harlem. And we go in there and we film it. We film the speech. He did it live in front of a classroom. I don't think anybody knew what he was going to be talking about. It was part of their class project to listen to somebody do a speech on what he was doing, and he did it, and I filmed it, and then he did a Q&A, and I filmed that too. So I edited the video. I edited it 3 different times to his liking. When he finally liked it, I said okay, and I uploaded it, and yeah, it got a lot of views. It's a very good speech. Trini is here? What? Trini is here and I didn't know? Hey, Trini, what's up? Just woke up. You knew we were talking about you, right? We really weren't, but yeah. Yeah, I believe it, Rachel. Everything, I did a video. I posted a video today. We went to Wegmans last night, and then tonight we went to another grocery store, which I did another video, and I'll be posting that too. But it's just crazy to see like everything out at the grocery store. So so Apple says people over in Italy are in home quarantine, and I feel like that's just a taste of what's going to eventually happen here. After hearing, you know, I think people are in for a rude awakening. Like, I mean, nothing to fear if you're smart, but like I said earlier, the CDC already made that announcement last night that people should have 8 weeks worth of provisions and supplies. So, you know, that's 60 days worth. Yeah, Rachel, I went really late when nobody was there, and I went really late tonight too, and nobody was there. I mean, there was a few people, but not too many. No, I never got to see the aurora here in Syracuse, but I did see Halley's Comet. I actually, I grew up with that. My dad was into astronomy, um, and we used to look at the stars through telescopes, and he'd tell me all about the stars and the planets, and we would watch Cosmos with Carl Sagan together. Not with Carl, we would watch the original Cosmos together. Yeah, Halley's Comet back in like 1986, I believe. Yeah, that's crazy. The death rate in Italy right now, 6.7. That's yeah. How is public transportation stopped? Is it how are the stores? How are you getting food and stuff? If you love Carl Sagan, Rachel, did you see my video that I did about him? I actually go because his house is about an hour from where I live. So we went down to Ithaca, and I did like a whole tour of, Carl Sagan. And I posted that video last summer. So if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. Have a nice day, Apple. Love, peace, and music. Were you on earlier when we started the stream? Because we talked all about it. We did a little bit of that last night too in the stream. Basically, um, don't want people to panic and stuff like that. Just to be smart and you know do the smart thing and try to be safe. Love your mom said go to bed. What? Oh, okay, so you already saw it. Yeah, so you already know. You already know what we're trying to do here. Awesome. Yeah, I really like doing that video. Carl Sagan one. you know what I got to do is I got to take a notebook and just all my stories that I want to tell. So like, you guys want a story, and I'm like, okay, we'll do this one. You can go out and buy food. You can go out with your car, but not for much. The police can ticket you for like basically just like loitering and driving around aimlessly. I'd want to go around and do video, not just, to show people what's going on, to get the news out. I mean, I'm always doing video, so that's what I'm already starting to do. And that's why I uploaded a video yesterday when I normally only do Monday and Thursday. I did it Saturday because I'm going to start documenting what's going on and the changes that we're seeing, because things are changing. Things are going to change for us before this ends. So, whether people like it or not, it's the reality of the world. They need to buy whole bundles of things in Wuhan. I think most people do, Rachel, the spooky aliens and the paranormal. I think I talked more about that than I ever did in last night's live stream. So if you want to find it, I don't remember where, but it's near the end of that stream if you didn't already see it. But check that out. I tell you about my experiences and all that stuff. Yeah, I know, Mike. There's a new version of Cosmos coming out. I believe on National Geographic. That's cool. I haven't seen it, but I do want to see it. I saw that Seth MacFarlane posted about the book with Andrian, Carl Sagan's widow. Do I live in the woodsy part of New York? No, I live in Syracuse. I live in like right outside of Syracuse. I'm in like a rural area. My parents live in a nice little neighborhood in a really small town called Chittenango. Are there any steps being taken? Um, yeah, there are, and I have some inside information that hasn't broken yet. But yeah, they will be doing some things that I only thought would have happened in movies. So yeah. Yeah, that's the best thing to do, Rachel. Just make videos about your own experiences, because everybody has different experience, and you might find an audience that are like, "Oh, I really like this," and then there you go, you got a YouTube channel. Um, I mean, that's kind of how I started. For me, YouTube was just like it came at the right time, because I've always liked making movies, and I wanted to make a movie, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna practice my movie making, and I'm just gonna upload it to YouTube. And you know what? There's no cooking shows on YouTube, so I'll make a cooking show. I'll make a vegan cooking show, but I don't really like how cooking shows are kind of boring, so I'll put a little spin on it, and I'll put it. I'll make a vegan cooking show set in a zombie apocalypse. And at the time there were no cooking shows on YouTube, and at the time there were no vegan anything on YouTube. So it was like, I did it at the right time, and it helped people. So then I'm like, oh, cool, I can practice my movie making and also promote veganism at the same time. This is perfect. So that's how it took off for me. And you couldn't even get monetized back then, so I definitely didn't do it thinking like, oh, I'm going to make this my job. I just wanted to do this. I wanted to make a movie. Nowadays people are like, I want to be a YouTuber and get paid, and it's like, you got to do it for the right reasons. I mean, it's good to be able to get paid to do what you love, but you got to actually have the passion to do it and want to do that, not just be your end goal. Like, I just want to make money. So yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome platform. If it wasn't there, I wouldn't be here right now telling stories. You think you're paranoid about coming off as a crazy person? Well, some of the stories I told last night, I could see how people could take that as like, dude, you're crazy. But, I mean, you just got to have, I don't know, like, I'm sure there's people that doubt the stories I told, but, I feel like I have pretty decent credibility and no reason to be making stuff up. I was before the vegan death metal chef. The vegan black metal chef, yes. Yes. I was even before Epic Mealtime, they're not vegan, but still same kind of concept. Yeah. May 2009 is when I started the channel. Actually, I started the Vegan Zombie a little bit before that. I started in, I think, April 2009, and I got the website, the domain, and then like a month later, I started the YouTube channel. How does being crazy justify? I don't understand the question. Yeah, my dad has some good stories. Lindsay found my channel in 2011. I actually started this channel, my second channel, in 2011. What does being crazy mean? What does it mean, guys? Oh, man. I did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. It's like 5 a.m. But it doesn't get light out here until like 7 something. Let's give it like 10 more minutes, okay? You have to be there for your channel like it's a kid. I love making content and making it public when it first goes out for people to see. Like, that makes me happy, like when people see it. Obviously, it doesn't make me happy when haters hate, but I understand that now. You got to be okay with it, because it's just there's always going to be a hater saying, bad things and criticizing and just whatever. Sometimes they get to me. Most of them I try to just like brush it off and be like, whatever. But some of them just warrant, like, I'm more, I used to ignore everything. Now I'm just like more likely to just, I don't know, tell them off or something. Linda was right. What was Linda right about? That I was going to be on for a couple more hours. I think I don't normally stream like this. Yeah. Well, Martine, so as long as I don't have anything planned, I can go to sleep whenever I feel like it, wake up whenever I feel like it. I always get my work done, and I feel like there was a point when I was getting no sleep, but I feel like I still get a decent amount of sleep. And if I get tired later in the day, I can take a nap because I am my own boss. So it's pretty cool. I love my job. I love what I do. And, my job is to create videos and put them out there. And I do that. I've been consistent since I started. So This is the most fun you had all day? Well, I'm glad. Have you ever watched Halliman? Yeah, I saw his, he's an idiot. I saw his video that he did about me, and he's an idiot. That's all I gotta say. He wanted me probably to respond to his ridiculous video of me, but I didn't give him the time of day. So now you guys are gonna go find him out and give him a view. Don't do that. He's an idiot. The storytelling. I'm glad you like my stories, and the thing is I have so many more stories that I just I gotta think of them. I can't. One day I'll something will spark my memory or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's something I gotta talk about on a live stream. I mean, we all have stories, but Halliman is like an anti-vegan, and he tried to debunk my video and basically say I'm not healthy and all that ridiculous anti-vegan crap, and he's an idiot. Blows your mind that this is live right now. Why? Just because we're hanging out live? Well, the only thing I need to do for my stories are all written down right here. You just gotta spark those memories to come back, because I have them all. I can tell you any of my memories. It seems like idiots get a lot of viewers. I don't think he got that many views, but who knows? I saw that was like what, 4 or 5 months ago. Yeah, there's a few videos about me as far as anti-vegans trying to discredit me. And I guess I won't even say his name. He's trying to say now that there's no such thing as a vegan that's been vegan for more than 5 or 10 years. It's just not possible. And what an idiot. Come on. He doesn't think that somebody can live that long as a vegan. Let's see, this dude. I'm looking at his videos right now. I'm trying to find the one he did about me. It's so stupid. He did one about vegan gains. Oh, here it is. Vegan zombie cannibalizes himself 7 months ago. Bloodthirsty vegan. And he basically responds to my video that I did with Noah Craig, where we were showing like getting protein as a vegan, and I was being really sarcastic in it, and he just didn't get any of the sarcasm. He thought I was being serious. So the dude's an idiot, straight up idiot. And he's just he just makes videos talking about mostly about vegans and stuff. Yeah, so don't go and give him a view. I'm pretty much the most legit vegan you've ever seen. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's what I try. I'm always genuine. I've always been like that, and it's important to me because I see so many fake people that you can just see right through them. And I'm not like that. I've never been like that. And it's very important to me to always be genuine and always like do the right thing. That's what I was taught as a kid. And there's just something like ingrained in me that like I have to go above and beyond. And like I can't live with myself knowing like I did something, I don't want to say wrong, but like I did something not to my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So like, Yeah. Yeah. Do I take algae DHA supplement? I don't, but I do have some, and I know that things like the Good Catch vegan tuna is supplemented with the DHA supplement, but it's not one of the things that's recommended if you're eating, a proper diet. The vegan doctors even say like it's not one of the things you need to really focus on. More focus on your vitamin D and if you have a problem with B12. I personally never had a problem with B12. Well, okay, so so personally, I just felt like I mean, I don't only feel it, I know it. Like I know like I'm here to like I want to help people, and vegan is the right thing to do, and I want to help people go vegan, and I want to promote it in the right way, and I feel like I have enough experience in life to be able to do that since I have been vegan for more than half of my life. I've lived over 25 years as a vegan, and for those of you that missed my live stream last night, it's today around. It's either today or tomorrow. It's my 30-year anniversary of going vegetarian, which is really the beginning of my journey. And so yeah, I've lived a lot of experiences as a vegan, before vegan was a thing, before vegan was popular, and even now. And I know that there's people probably even in the chat who's been vegan longer than me that can attest to the same thing. But that's something that I don't feel like a fraud about this, because I know that I'm telling people genuine information. I know what I'm talking about, because basically I'm talking about my life. I'm talking about what I've experienced over the majority of my life. And I haven't always been a vegan, because I wasn't born a vegan. So I know what it is like on both sides of the spectrum. I can put myself in the same shoes as people that aren't vegan, because I wasn't always a vegan. And I feel like I can help people in those certain ways, and I can speak on it, and I don't feel like a fraud, and I'm obviously, I'm very, very genuine. Just, I mean, that's the way I was brought up, and I don't know, when I say it's ingrained, it's very important to me. I don't want people to think that, that I'm not. So when I say something, I follow through. Maybe that's not coming out right. I don't know. You really liked Vlogmas. I liked Vlogmas. It was a lot of work, but I like that I can go back and watch Vlogmas. It's really too bad though. It didn't. I do this for a living, and they didn't really get that many views, which means like, if I do videos that don't get very many views, then I gotta move on to do other things that do, because this is how I pay my bills. So I just got to remember that. So you're restarting your life with a vegan mindset, and it's so wholesome. Yeah, it really is. It's a good feeling knowing that you're doing the right thing, and it's affecting a lot of different things in a positive way. You should make videos about anti-vegans. Sometimes it comes to the point where I'm so fed up by some of these anti-vegans that I do some videos about them, and I have a few of them. It takes a lot for me to do that, to get to that point, but sometimes I do it, and here I am, like I'm living proof that they're full of it. Oh, I agree, Julie. Yeah, hopefully people do come to their senses, but why do I feel like the stupidity is still going to remain? Well, Taylor, to a point I agree, but also, so Taylor says if you make videos about anti-vegans, it just gives them clout, so there's no point. Okay, so my reason for doing the videos I did was because, for whatever reason, these guys are getting quite a lot of views, and there are people that are on the fence about going vegan, and then when they see a video, and I will give it to them, sometimes they have a very well done video for somebody that's not educated in, veganism or health or nutrition or whatever. So then they see these videos and they're like, oh, well, I was going to go vegan, but then this guy says there's all these people that are saying that you ruin their health and everything like that. And so now I'm not going to do it. So I do feel like it's my responsibility to stand up on my platform and say something. And I will in the future do more videos on these anti-vegans, whether people like it or not, because I feel like I need to, I need to show people, these people are saying you can't be vegan long term. And here I am, been vegan longer than some of these people have been alive, totally knocking their whole argument out of the water. And, and I know that they just want to say, well, that's anecdotal. I've got a lot of friends that have been vegan for a long time. I got friends that have been vegan as long as me, longer than me. And we're all doing really healthy. So, yeah, the science is on our side, the truth is on our side, and doing the right thing is on our side. So these people, somebody reached out to me. I think they were a psychologist, and they just we agreed on the same point. Basically, these people are doing this because deep down they know they have a lot of guilt, and they know what they're doing is wrong, but they want to. They want to justify what they're doing. So they get all these other people who feel the same way deep down, and they kind of band together, and they're trying to tear people down. Like if you watch the videos that vegans do, we're basically responding to their BS, but they are actually doing videos attacking vegans and try to make them look bad. And it's just, they're going out of their way and they're spreading false information. So yeah. I agree, Rachel. It's horrible. I'm just, and somebody posted something. I don't like to usually watch these, but I started watching, and they were torturing and killing it, and it just gets me so, it boils my blood. I get so mad and upset how people can do this, and people don't realize that the same stuff is going on for the people that are just thinking well, I'm not part of that kind of stuff. But if you're eating a steak or a burger or meat or dairy, you are part of somebody else is doing it for you, but you're still doing that to that animal. And it's horrible. Like, I wish that it was a different world. I wish I had a superpower where I could go in and stop these people from doing this. And I know it happens all the time. So it makes me feel good knowing at least that I choose to be a vegan and live a vegan lifestyle where I'm not participating in that. Even though I know it's still going on, I'm not part of that. And I'm trying to do everything I can. As one person, I've grown a YouTube channel, and I'm inspiring people to go vegan, and people tell me that they went vegan, and I'm helping them go vegan, and that means a lot. And I'm just glad that I'm able to do that, because before YouTube, I just felt like it was futile. I'm just one person. What am I going to do? What am I going to do as one person? But there's so much you can do, and there's so much that your life and your choices impact others. So don't think that, because I did for a long time. They're already dead anyway. Yeah. Yeah, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Yeah, I'm like I went down to that planet from Inception, where time passes so it's like 1 hour is like 15 years. That poor guy in the space, they were gone for 2 hours and he like aged 30 years. Must have been really boring. That'd be like 30 years of solitary confinement. Anyway, now we're talking about black holes and the space-time continuum, which I could talk about for hours too. So yeah, it's funny though, because 30 minutes for me is like 3 hours. But yeah, well, I could go on forever, guys, but I think we're gonna cut it now. So everybody have a good night. Glad you were here. Glad I could talk and have a little audience here. So have a great night, and don't panic. Be safe. Be smart. Check out the last video where I talk a little bit about it if you haven't already, and I'll be posting more. So yeah, good night.